Hi Cancer, thanks for tuning in. This is going to be your reading for January 2020. Happy New Year. Please join me here while I shuffle. Connect with your higher self and your guides. Ask them to connect with my higher self and guides so that we can create a feedback loop to make sure that the messages that come through here today are tailored for you. You might want to grab some headphones so you can really focus in. Set aside any tasks you have on the go. Please don't multitask at this time while you're watching this reading. I want to make sure that you make the most out of your time here with me and you're not missing any of the important messages that your higher self wants to pass on to you. So let's have a look at the general energies available at this time for Cancer. Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. 2 sixes at the heart of the reading and Lovers crowning. So 3 sixes at the first part of the reading. That's very interesting. And number 7, the Chariot here at the foundation. King of Swords reversed, Strength. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords reversed. Wow. 4 of Swords, 6 of Swords. Very interesting spread. A lot of sixes. We have all the sixes out. No. The 6 of Wands is not here, but let's see. 7 of Wands in reverse. 3 of Cups in reverse. Tower. And the Moon in reverse. Okay. Okay. Cancer, clearly this is a big time for you. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. I feel my first gut feeling to this spread and seeing the Ace of Wands at the bottom here is that some of you might be fundamentally dealing with issues around vitality. So you might be looking at some health concerns around this time. There's a lot of aces also in your spread. Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Here you have Ace of Pentacles and then Ace of Swords in reverse in these 2 parts of the reading. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot. There's a lot of energy here. There's a lot of movement in your reading. I think there's also like some deep inquiry that you're going through at the moment with regards to many issues, but you might be actually fundamentally questioning your entire reality and trying to make sense of what you're here for and what you're doing. You know, Lovers at the crowning card. That's number 6 from the major arcana. Chariot, number 7 at the foundation, and Strength, number 8 in the outcome. This is very interesting. I've never seen this before in a reading. 6, 7, and 8 from the major arcana. So for some of you, you know, like while the crowning card of the reading is what's in your conscious mind, what's already known to you, what's going on for you right now is that you might be, you know, thinking about your partnership or your business or your work and making choices about, you know, your external world in those regards. But having the Chariot here in the foundation and the Strength, along with all these sixes, look, 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, 6 of Swords, and the Lovers, number 6. So what are the sixes about? Sixes are about harmony, balance, reciprocity, equanimity. Excuse me. So these might be some of the questions that you're bringing up now. Like you may be feeling like you need more harmony in your life. You may be seeking ways to find more balance. For some of you, because we have the Lovers there and these 2 sixes here, they're actually both in reverse at the heart of the reading. For some of you, you may be seeing that your relationship looks really good to the outside world, but you might not be sure yourself. Like you might be questioning, is there a good balance in my relationship? Is there a good reciprocity? Am I being nurtured in the way that I need to? Is there a good ebb and flow and concern of nurturing between me and my partner? For some of you, I feel here with the Chariot here, these 2 aces, also the Moon and the Tower, Strength. Some of you may be thinking about making some really drastic and sudden decisions. They may make the decisions that you may be wanting to make might seem, once you make them, to be sudden and unexpected to other people, but these are things that you maybe have been considering for a long time. You may or may not have been sharing your concerns with the people around you. Some of you may be wanting to do something entirely different. Some of you might want to like completely remake your life and move to another country, or, you know, completely change career path. Maybe some of you might want to leave a partnership that you've been in for many years. And for some of you, I feel like many of your partners are not aware that you are actually making these considerations. I feel like you're at the very edge of a turning point here, but for some of you, there's this energy here where you've been processing a lot of emotional and mental and spiritual energy for a long time on certain topics. You may have felt a lack of clarity about certain things for a while. King of Swords, Ace of Swords, both reversed. But I feel like you're at this tipping point. It's almost like there's this energy here where I feel like you are so ready to turn the page, and maybe the point is that what you are experiencing, like the feelings you have, the discomfort you may be going through, it's almost at the edge of the threshold of what you're actually going to be able to tolerate. I feel like some of you are really ready for major changes. You may have been feeling a bit stagnant and stuck for a while. You may have been feeling like just unhappy in general, maybe some despondency and depression, and not necessarily for anything particularly. Like your life might look great, to other people. There might be like, fun and laughter and caring friends and partner and satisfying, happy, successful career. But there's something in here that's saying that you're maybe really dissatisfied with the way things are, and you really want to break free of your own kind of limitations that you may have created by actually constructing this reality that you've built for yourself. That's what I feel for some of you. For some of you, I feel like there's this desire to move on. There's a desire here to move away from what you've been doing, who you've been doing it with, and like break out of your own, like it's almost like breaking out of your own shell, like pushing through your own stuckness or resistance or inertia to kind of really go for it in a big way, in something completely different from what you've been doing, and something that's quite unexpected as well. And for some people, I feel here with this part of the reading with the Ace of Pentacles and the Moon in reverse, some of you are really ready to start something new, but excuse me, with the Moon here in reverse, I feel like there's a lot of fear that's preventing you from actually just initiating a new beginning that you need. And that's why I think the Ace of Swords is here in reverse with this Tower. Like, there's something about the Moon here in reverse, so I feel like maybe there's a lot of fear, unconscious fear, or maybe for some of you, what's going on here with this Moon is that you maybe have something secret or yeah, there's something about like a truth that you want to speak out about, but you've been holding back and keeping it to yourself, and maybe you've been afraid of sharing that truth because you're not sure how the people around you are going to respond and react to what it is that you want to shift and change. Because maybe the status quo is quite established and everyone's kind of like in their way doing their thing, and you don't want to upset the balance or upset the reality that's going on around you, even though it's really affecting your sense of well-being and your happiness. So, okay, let's pull the bottom of the deck. Ace of Wands, Hanged Man in reverse, Knight of Swords, and the Sun. Beautiful. There's also the King of Cups here. I'm going to take that as well. Beautiful. I love this part of the reading. I'll get to it in a second, but I want to talk about here the Chariot and Strength, because I didn't really touch on these. I actually really, really like these cards in your reading. So Chariot and Strength. Chariot is actually the card from the Major Arcana that is dedicated as the Cancerian card. It's, the archetype of Cancer is somewhat defined by the Chariot. I don't actually fully understand that actually, but okay, that's how it goes sometimes. This card is here in the foundation of your reading in what's the position that's known as your unconscious mind, or what you don't know. And the Strength card is here in the outcome. So 7 and 8 from the Major Arcana. So what I'm feeling with these two cards here is that there's this like desire to be really independent in a way. Like in this reading, there's this energy of like, I feel like a lot of you watching maybe have a lot of concern about the people in your environment, your family members, your friends, your co-workers, whatever. But this Strength and Chariot card is giving me this feeling of like you just want to be really independent and you want to focus on you and your needs and your path and what you need to do for your wellness, your happiness, your creative pursuits, etc. But there's still this like slight feeling here of holding back because you're afraid of upsetting other people. But I want you to know that like your state at the moment, like if you're unhappy right now, that's affecting everyone else, even if they may not necessarily know it or be able to even acknowledge or even grasp that idea. But seeing this King of Cups come out here as the last card of this reading, this is really telling me like this is also another Cancerian card, right? The water element. Your needs and your desires are more important than other people's opinions. And it's really, really important that you overcome this sort of pulling energy that's making you feel obligated to other people. Like I think that's what in this reading with all these swords cards is there is a need to overcome a sort of mental chatter that you may be experiencing where you're spending too much time concerning yourself about what other people think or need. It's time to break free and out of any kind of self-imposed restriction, Seven of Wands, and move forward into a new beginning where your vitality gets to really express, right? All these aces. Like there is a real strong need here for you to actually push forward with a new beginning of something that you've probably been thinking about for a really long time and overcome any fears or any hesitation or any lack of courage or concern about how it's going to affect other people, because ultimately you being happy is the greatest reward and healing for the people around you. And you holding yourself back thinking that you're doing it to help them or to serve them is actually some kind of twisted thing that's not really real. So, Knight of Swords here with the Sun. So you had the King of Swords here in this position of the reading in reverse. And this was telling me that you've been overthinking an issue for a long time and not really coming to necessarily any clarity about it, with Ace of Swords also in reverse. Like this feeling of not actually coming to a solution or a resolution within you that can actually enable you to break free of the state of just overthinking and actually take action. This is telling me that there is a sort of like how do I say that? There is action with this Knight of Swords, even though it is still the air element, which is thoughts and ideas, concepts. But because of the energy of the Knight being so youthful and progressive and sort of even a little bit, unjaded is the word that comes to mind. He's unjaded. He's still young and like fiery and youthful and ready to like take on any kind of challenge without like thinking too much about what the consequences will be. And that's how I feel like the energy you need to bring to your circumstance at the moment is to kind of overcome the need to pursue every timeline with a notion of seeing, like you knowing what it's going to be at the end and then not doing it because you think you already know what that's going to be. Does that make sense? The Sun is blessing this reading with success, giving you a light and a illumination to kind of chase after that which you already dream about, that you've already been kind of nurturing in your mind, in your creative space. It's already activated. And King of Cups here is saying, like, at the end of the day, your creativity and your wellness and your happiness is all connected. So it's almost your responsibility really to pursue that and set aside the needs of others and be somewhat selfish and like unburden yourself from the perceived obligations that other people may wish to put onto you. It's not yours to take. Let's see what else is here. I feel like that's it for this part of the reading. I just want to check over. This Tower card is really interesting. I do feel like this is really an important and necessary time to really break out of your own limitation and pursue that which you've already been actively imagining and dreaming about and like giving energy to. There's also something that you need to let go of, and I feel like it's basically what I've already described, you know, with the sort of the burden of obligation. It's time to just overcome that, set it aside, and give yourself the freedom to have the pursuit that you really want, because it is your path. That is your path. You have to take that path. Stop holding yourself back. All right, that's it for the general. Let's take the Voyager deck now. I'm going to shuffle this deck, and we're going to look at your higher octave reading using the same holographic mandala spread that I'm using. So the higher octave spread is designed to provide a little more insight into spiritual and karmic forces that are at play. Hopefully it will also help reveal any blind spots that we may not be aware of. And hopefully as well, your guides and higher self could provide some practical advice for how to best deal with the circumstances to make the most out of the lessons that were being handed at this time. So please send your energy into the deck while I shuffle so I can get really clear messages for you. Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, Temperance, Two of Swords, the World, Man of Crystals, which is King of Swords, upright, the Chariot again, so some repeating cards, Queen of Wands in reverse, Three of Cups in reverse, we've had that there as well, Eight of Pentacles, the Star in reverse, Seven of Cups, the Sun again, Sage of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and Ace of Pentacles. So another ace in this reading. Some repeating cards for sure in this deck. Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. We'll get that as well in a second. So I feel like this is a reiteration of what we've already been talking about so far. The Temperance card at the heart of reading is called Art in this deck, which I think is very significant, because I was really feeling like in the previous spread there, like I feel like for a lot of you, what's going on here is this real burning urge to move towards more creative endeavors that will bring a lot of satisfaction to you. And seeing it here in the heart of the reading, even though it's the Temperance card, I'm giving it that interpretation there where it's like, again, with Chariot here, Queen of Wands here, your guides really want to give you that push that you probably need here to overcome any self-doubt or uncertainty or fears or obligations to other people, and just move forward in the direction of the things that you already feel charged up about, excited about, passionate about, because that's the right direction for you. With the Sun card and the World at the top of the reading here, again giving a lot of illumination and encouragement to you to pursue that which is already in your field. You know, time to claim it and move towards it. Right now it's just etheric and energetic, until you actually make that choice. Two of Swords. You have to make a choice to move towards that thing, to claim it and bring it towards you. You have to take physical action. You have to make movement and actively work towards it. It won't happen by just dreaming about it, right? For some of you, there is a little bit of fear here around finances. I see that with Five of Pentacles and Eight of Pentacles in this quadrant of the reading. This is your environment. So some of you might be afraid to let go of what you have that's stable and consistent, even if it's maybe boring to you, but you already know it. And so you may be worried that if you let go of that which is stable and consistent and reliable to pursue something fantastical and dreamy, and that you could be putting yourself in a difficult and troubling situation. And I would say, yeah, be practical. Be practical about it. You don't have to choose one or the other. It may be difficult to manage for a little while, but you might have to dovetail and do two things at once until you actually are able to cross over into a new venture that's actually able to financially support you. I want to be clear, I'm not telling you to go out and quit your job right now. Like, you have to be practical and organize yourself so that you can make your new part of life become actually manifest. Star and Sage of Pentacles, both in reverse in the Hopes and Fears. This is kind of also maybe a little reiteration of what that was about there, with like a little bit of fear about finances and money. But the Star in reverse in this part of the reading with the Sage of Pentacles, Hopes and Fears, again, it kind of feels like you may be a little bit afraid of like not succeeding in your dreams. So you might be kind of trying to diminish your own dreams and visions so that you don't, you know what I mean, like disappoint yourself or others. But that's not really fair. Dream big. Don't limit yourself by what you think is possible. The bottom of the deck, 3 of Pentacles, Page of Wands in reverse, Page of Swords in reverse, and 9 of Pentacles. That's nice. There's also 10 of Pentacles there upright. I'm going to take that. So that's cool. This 9 and 10 of Pentacles coming out in the upright is giving, like, your guides are kind of offsetting that fear with the financial stuff, saying like it's going to work out. You have 9 and 10 of Pentacles. 9 is called harvest, 10 is called reward. So there is definitely financial abundance here waiting for you if you can take that leap of faith, that risk, and actually trust your own creative ability, trust your passion, you know, like trust your passion, trust what you're dreaming about is actually meant for you, and pursue it with veracity, and make sure you know, learn everything that there is to learn about that thing so you can actually be successful in it, right? So here also there's 2 pages, Page of Wands, Page of Crystals. Again, there's this energy with those 2 of like bringing a youthful, excited energy to something, to undertake something with that slightly naive, but it's more just that kind of enthusiasm that's required, that young people carry naturally, that, you know, as we get older, we kind of lose a little bit of that, and it makes it hard to start new things when you're a little bit older because you don't have that natural enthusiasm anymore because you may have got a bit jaded by life, right? So there's a reminder there from your team to say like, overcome any cynicism, overcome any like worrisome kind of burdensome overthinking, and kind of just move forward with that sort of youthful vigor and enthusiasm to pursue what you're dreaming about, because the success and the reward is awaiting for you. I love this. Ace of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. All very like abundant, fruitful, successful, financially rewarding cards, all in the upright in your reading. So take that as it is. Take that as a like clear guidance from your people, like your team, your spiritual team, are saying pretty much green light. Green light. All right, let's see if there's anything else in your reading that I need to cover. I feel like that's basically your reading though. Let me just check. Trust your, like, Queen of Wands here is the entrepreneur. She's here in the outcome position. With the 7 of Cups here in the Sun, I feel like there is still like, I feel like the majority of the work that you need to do is not as much as it is about the you know, like the actual whatever it is you're trying to do. It feels more like your work is to actually deal with your fears, with your anxieties, with your overthinking, with your limitations or feelings of stuckness or resistance or issues around worthiness or any of that kind of stuff. That's, I think, where you're coming up against some roadblocks here. Is more about that stuff than it is about the actual project or vision or event or whatever it is that you are bringing in. Bring that really determined, willful warrior spirit to this energy, because that's what the Chariot is here. And again, like you had it twice, both upright in 2 readings. So clear guidance from your people, your team, to say like, channel your energy really completely and utterly into this thing, because it is your path, because you've already been dreaming it for some time. Don't let your dreams fall by the wayside because you're afraid of whatever, afraid of disappointing, afraid of failing, afraid of winning, afraid of, you know, criticism or any of that stuff. Like, don't let those things be what stops you from pursuing what's already in your energetic field. It's up to you now to claim it and move towards it and take the active, practical steps every day towards manifesting that. Cancer, that's your reading for January. Thank you so much for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. I hope you found some things in there that you can work with. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share if you found this reading helpful. and I'll see you in the next reading.